Yeah.
Do it, yeah, bitch.
I said it, bitch.
You do it better than me.
Yeah.
Black people think that white people are smarter than them.
Yeah.
It wasn't that way when I was growing up. You know, as you know, I grew up in Alabama on a plantation under the Jim Crow law. And black people used to be independent thinkers. They didn't have black leaders. They thought and did for themselves.
Right.
They bought land and just kind of did their own thing.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't until the civil rights movement came along, which was the worst thing that ever happened to the blacks. The civil rights movement, other than abortion. They turned their lives over to Martin Luther King and Jesse Jackson and all those people, and it's been downhill ever since. You should never, ever, ever have another person over you.
Right.
As an adult, especially men, you're not supposed to have a leader. God is your only leader, right? But they put other people in charge of them, and they've been leading them down a path of destruction ever since.
Yeah.
And that's the primary problem.
You got to be able to think for yourself.
You got to.
Yeah, because when I was raised, my mom was Democrat. It's like, that's the black thing to do.
Right.
You'd be Democrat. But then, like, when I got in my 30s and I just started, like, living my life and saying things for myself, I was like, wait a minute. This stuff is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of nuts over here and how they think on the left side when it comes to politics.
Yeah, I grew up Republican because when I was growing up, there was no Democrats that I was aware of. Most black people were Republicans. And so it wasn't until I moved to L.A. at 18 I started listening to Jesse Jackson, Louis Farrakhan, and all those crazy people. And they were telling me, the white man is against you because of your color. And being young, and I thought they were leaders, I fell for the lie. And then I finally realized I had been lied to, so I dropped the Democrat and went to the Republican Party.
That's the major reason why you switched to Republican, because of the civil rights movement?
Yeah. I realized they were lying to me and that my issue was a spiritual issue, not physical.
Yeah.
But they made us think that, and I had hatred for white people too. Once I listened to them, I didn't grow up like that.
Yeah, I did too. I did too, because my mom was showing us Roots and all the black shows. I would go to school the next day just looking at the white people.
Right.
Right? And it just, I don't know, it put a hatred in me. I think over time it developed, it gave me anxiety. If I saw a white person looking at me, I was like, they looking at me like that because I'm a Negro.
Yeah.
You know? Looking back on it, that white woman wanted to get with me. But my mama had fed me these lies that white people against you, white people against you.
That is so true, man.
Yeah.
I used to think that anytime white people disagreed with me at work or something, I totally thought it was because I was black.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe there's two people just disagreeing.
Yeah, you see things that's not there.
Sure, that is so true, man. And so finally I realized that, okay, if I'm black and the white man holding me back, why is it that he's not holding Jesse Jackson, his family back, Louis Farrakhan and all? They were living in amazing homes and they had jobs and their kids had fathers and mothers. And I'm like, why are they holding them back? And that's when I realized I had been lied to.
Yeah, it's all a game, it's a scheme, it's a hustle.
And that's right. So I read the Republican platform and I'm like, I'm out of here. No more Democrat.
Yeah.
And I just turned away from them.
Yeah, and it's still true today. Look at all the celebrities and all the blacks just, made a name for themselves, whether it's in Hollywood or acting or in the music career. They always badmouth Republicans. They always badmouth white people.
Yeah.
Because Hollywood, that whole line of work is ran by liberals. Yeah. And Jews.
So white people are afraid of the blacks.
You can't blame them, Jesse.
I know, yeah. They're so violent. But
you know what, Jesse? I'm scared of black folks.
Me too.
You know?
I wouldn't go to the hood.
Yeah, I don't. I went to the hood a couple times. I said, I ain't ever doing this again.
Yeah. I have family members who live in the hood, and I just call now. I used to go and visit sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially before the crime got so bad. It was really bad down in L.A. And the homeless situation. So I don't really go to the hood anymore.
I met my two black friends. Like, I got to a point where I just started judging black people differently because I started to notice a trend. Yeah. Like, I met Chris. He's a comedian. I say, this guy's a nice guy. I can tell he's...
And Chris is black.
Yeah, he black. Yeah, he black.
Amazing.
Both of their names is Chris.
Oh, they are? Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
They ran out of names, huh?
What? Crazy, I remember one time I was up in L.A., I got lost. And I was in this ghetto area. I was like, oh, my God, you look at these Negroes over here. Yeah, Watts is a scary place.
Yeah, it is now. When I first moved to L.A., it wasn't that bad.
What happened? Democrats.
Yeah, Democrats.
Used to be a Republican state.
The Mexicans moved in, and so there's a war going on between the blacks and the Mexicans over there.
The Mexicans winning that. They taking that land back.
They are taking it. Yeah. And so it just got just a mess over there right now.
Yeah.
It's really bad. Yeah. When I first moved to LA, I worked in Watts for a while.
Yeah.
That's how nice it was, Compton area.
Right.
But it's just gotten worse over the years.
Yeah, what happened? Because I was looking at some old pictures of Compton and Watts. You can actually see white people that used to live there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's all Section 8. It's like really ghetto.
But the Mexicans are running the blacks out now.
Yeah.
Because they hate the blacks and the blacks hate them. So
it's supposed to be all Black Lives Matter, right?
Not over there.
That's a joke.
Not over there.
You know what? You
gotta have white parents.
Yeah.
No, I have. Well, my daddy was really light. My great grandfather was from Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh. So why do you guys have white people eyes?
Because of him, probably.
Oh yeah.
You know what's crazy? That is crazy. My dad, he got his eyes from his granddad, and it came down through us.
And he was white.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was black.
Yeah, but he was really light though.
Yeah.
He looked like don't see it. He looked like Black Elvis. Like Elvis with a tan on him.
Right on.
Yeah. We actually came from one of the biggest plantations on the East Coast called the Hurston Plantation.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You wrote a book about it.
Really? Amazing. So when your master said he said, do you say yes, sir, master? We said.
I'm glad I ain't grew up during that time.
Yeah, when my master said he said, I said yes, sir, master. We said.
Hey Jesse, explain to us what it was like growing up through the civil rights movement, Jim Crow, and all that. How was it for blacks?
Before the civil rights movement, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you hear these stories that blacks and whites did not get along. That's not true. I'm sure you can find bad people in all groups, but we treated each other the way we would like to be treated. When I saw white people, I treated them the same way they treated me, the same way they would do anyone. And it didn't change until, I do remember going to a movie theater once down in Eufaula, Alabama. And the blacks had to sit in the balcony. But I was a teenager and I didn't mind because we had better view. We could see better up there. But it still wasn't just animosity that we've been told. My family owned land. Matter of fact, one of my aunts, she and her husband, they had like 15, 16, 17 children, right? Maybe more. Yeah. And they owned land. They never had to work the fields and things like that. They owned their own property. And we did our own thing. It wasn't what you've been told that it was like. That changed when the civil rights movement came along.
When we started to integrate with whites.
When you force integration. That should have never happened. Blacks and white would have come together on their own. Those who agreed and those who didn't agree, it would have happened naturally. But you can't force anyone to love you. And they were trying to force the white people to accept the blacks, which was a big mistake. Yeah. And so it's just been down here ever since.
Back in those days, like blacks had everything. They had their own doctors, had their own transportation.
Yeah.
And did you see any ghettos that you see today?
No ghettos. No ghettos. No violence, no crime.
Oh, look at those pictures.
None of those things when I was growing up. It was unheard of for black people to kill one another or to fight one another. I grew up and I only had one fight in high school, and that was on over a baseball bat. I thought we both were fighting over. We were on the baseball field. This guy thought it was his time, and I thought it was mine, and we were fighting over that. And that's about it.
So it was no ghettos? It was
no ghettos,
mass black
no
on black
fighting,
crime?
no crime at all.
Yeah.
No crime. Nobody around me committed crime that I'm aware of at all. It was unheard of. It was totally different than it is today.
So when you seen like those, like there's been some moments in history that the civil rights movement like grabbed onto, embraced, and used that to force integration, like what happened to Emmett Till, was it Medgar Eggers down in, was that Mississippi?
Yes.
So you're saying like these types of incidents were like isolated?
Yes.
Really?
Poor America, they're going to use him to death.
Yeah.
Emmett Till, 100 years gone by, they still talking about Emmett Till.
Right.
That happened then, and we don't know the true story about that, what really happened. They just kind of made up stuff to make it look like what they wanted it to look like so they can control the blacks. It really, something happened that we don't really know the whole detail.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember what happened with the, I guess they said a bunch of white guys grabbed them and killed them and buried them or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of ignorant on what happened. I just remember that name.
They said one of the guys looked at a white woman.
Yeah, Emmett Till.
Yeah, and as a result, looked at the white woman, they killed him. Now, I don't know how true that is. There's always more to the story than what you hear. Excuse me. And because human beings are evil, did you know human beings are evil?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's worse than what you can think. And because they are evil and they won't admit they're evil so they can overcome it, you never know what the real truth is.
Yeah, I mean, I look how evil the world is. Like, we go to school
Yeah.
and they teach you to stand in line, be nice to your neighbor and this and that, don't cut line, just little stuff like that in kindergarten. Like, just imagine if people wasn't taught how to be good, how evil everybody would be. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because it's just an evil world we live in.
Yeah,
I think it's naturally, it's a natural inclination to be evil.
You actually got to teach people to be good. Yeah.
But that doesn't work either. You really can't teach anyone to be good because think about it. Christianity is supposed to be a religion that teaches us to love one another and to be good and to have a moral life and live.
Right.
Nobody's living up to that.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
And so even our parents who tried to teach us to be good, it didn't work.
Yeah.
No one has lived up to it. The only way you're going to be good is that you got to admit that you're evil.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest thing. Salvation of the heart. So God said that we got to admit that we're evil because anyone that has anger is playing God. They think they know right from wrong. They judge themselves and others. They cannot be trusted. God said never trust an angry person. An angry person is an evil person, and they are your enemy, and do not trust them.
Yeah.
So, but when you admit that you're evil, hey, I'm evil, I'm wrong, and then you forgive your parents because that's who did it, especially your mother. And
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on women.
then you go and forgive your mother because all human beings hate their mothers. There's not one that doesn't.
I think I love my mom.
Yeah, I love my mama. Mama's crazy. Mama's crazy. She would have the Bible in one hand and cuss you out.
That's right.
Yeah.
But when you forgive your mother, males and females, when you forgive your mother, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. I realize now you couldn't help yourself because you become just like your mother. Any man that has anger is a woman.
Yeah.
He reacts, he has emotion like a woman. He become like his mother because you become like what you hate. But when you go and forgive her for turning you away from your father, playing victim, impose her will, I'm sorry for resenting you. God will forgive you, and he will change your heart from anger to love. Then he changed that old nature from anger, from fear and doubt and loneliness and insecurity and worry and suicidal thought. He will take all those things and give you his nature. Then you'll be a perfect love, and you will have perfect peace, and you have a perfect life.
Yeah.
But you got to return to the Father. And the only way you're going to return, you got to admit to yourself. You don't have to say it out loud, but you got to admit you are evil, but you got to forgive your mother because the evil comes through the mother.
Right.
Look at our new giveaway. Ford Raptor. Look at that. Avalanche Gray. 37-inch tire. Over 500. I think it's 510 horsepower. I think it's 501. But I do know it's 500 at least. It's 510. And like I said, hey, so y'all know why we do this. We used to pay for advertising on Facebook, Instagram, put these contests out there. And they were censoring us the whole time. I said, man, why don't we incentivize our own fans? Yeah, you support us, we support you. You support us, we give you money. You support me, I give you trucks. It's a win-win for everybody. Need to start giving them some white women. What? Go to officialhodgetwins.com. Anything you buy from the site gets you automatically into the win. No purchase necessary. Only where prohibited. See official rules for details. Yeah.